He told me this was what we worked for, to make our own perfect family opposite from what ours were like, and I was blindsiding him by changing my plans, and I told him no plan has changed. I can have a career and be a mom. Plenty of women do it. He doesn't have to quit his job to be a dad, so why should I? He said it wouldn't work for a baby's needs, and I told him, okay, since I make more money than you do, why don't you quit and I go back to work remotely after healing from birth? That way we have both hands on deck and we don't have a severe loss of income, as I make $89,000 a year and he makes $52,000 a year. He mentioned that if I trusted him fully, this shouldn't be a problem. I told him I trust him, but I don't trust our current economy. But I left out that I really do genuinely think quitting my job with no savings, wiped out by getting the house, and relying on a man is absolutely stupid. He had plans made previously with his parents and had to leave, so we said we would pick the conversation back up when he gets home. But he's very, very upset. Madder than I have ever seen him, and I don't understand why he just assumed I would quit. Not only do I not understand it, but it makes me trust him a lot less than I did yesterday. I have a bad habit of running for the hills when problems come up, and not gonna lie, this is making me really nervous. Thank you for reading all of this if you have. I'm open ears to what could be going through his mind, or why he is thinking like this. Really just doesn't seem logical to me. He's been watching all of these videos of stay-at-home wives and girlfriends, and I feel like this is influencing him a lot. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Snewwords4839. It says, please hold off on having kids until this is resolved. $52,000 isn't a lot for a family of 3, especially with a mortgage and baby expenses. He isn't seeing the whole picture here. You know what? In today's economy, $52,000 really is not a lot. However, you can make it work for a family of 3. You just can't buy all the expensive things that you've ever wanted. Now, OP did update this story, and it seems like things have gone up in a puff of smoke, so let's jump into that one now. Alright, OP's update is titled, My 30 female, husband 31 male of 7 years is really angry that I refused to quit my job to become a stay-at-home wife. He left me. It's been a few days since he came home and told me he met a girl at work and she's a better woman than me, and that she has a son already and will be a stay-at-home wife or girlfriend or whatever the F. He gets his happy ending, I guess. He texted me right before I got off work and asked me to pick up food from one of our usual date night spots. I got home and noticed his car had boxes in it and a woman I didn't know. I tried opening the door, but it was locked and she just looked at me. What little was left of our savings, he took, and both of our cats. I didn't see this coming at all. I haven't told any of my friends yet. His adoptive parents have been dropping me off food that I can't even force myself to eat. I haven't cried yet. I'm kind of still in shock. I wish I had a family to run to, but for now, the internet has to do. I haven't answered any of his calls or texts. He keeps trying to check in, ask if I'm okay. How the F would I be okay? I never thought he would cheat. I asked him to promise if there was ever someone else, he would just tell me as soon as he knew. But they've been together at least 6 months. So while he was calling me selfish for not wanting to put in my 2 weeks and be a stay-at-home wife, he was dating her the entire time, planning a future with her the entire time. I feel stupid. I should have taken everyone's advice more literally. When I asked him to go to therapy, he wouldn't. His parents think he's had some type of mental break. I should have stayed afraid of him and avoided him. I should have chosen a better outcome for myself. I just feel like the same girl that no one wants to love anymore all over again. I know what he did isn't my fault. I know I could never stop him. And really, do I want a man who doesn't want me? Never. But that just doesn't stop it from hurting. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Key Championship 7501. It says, you need a lawyer. He can't just take your savings or your cats, as that would, most likely, be considered communal property. There are rules that protect people in the case of divorce. The next commenter down below that, called Grasshopper80, replied to this comment and said, "And what's this quit your job and stay at home crap? If he was already dating and planning this, is he literally trying to make you homeless? That's a case with a divorce lawyer on its own." OP, I feel like this is going to be a fairly rocky process going forward, because him clearing out your savings, you've got to try and claw some of that back, but I think he's going to fight it as much as he can. I just really feel crappy about this whole situation, OP. I guess the one saving grace here is that you didn't have a child. That will make the separation a lot easier, and you can just put this guy in the rearview mirror completely. OP, I wish you all the best, and in the future, I hope you find somebody who loves you for you. This story comes to us from Briar26. I, 29 female, am moving in with my boyfriend of 3 years, 33 male. And my fundamentalist mom, 65 female, is furious. My mom and I have always had a very close relationship. She tells me everything. I am her only daughter, her confidant since I was a small child, telling me everything from financial troubles to having issues with my dad and brothers, etc. Her pride has always been that I have always been very mature for my age, being able to cook, clean, take care of my brother with ASD, being homeschooled, being active in my church, etc. So much so that people have always mistaken me for being 10 plus years older than I was since I was 13 or 14 or so. Please keep in mind, I grew up in the fundamentalist world. Think Duggars, IBLP, Bill Gothard, Quiverful, etc. The vibe is ultra conservative, long skirts and hair, no TV and only select music, homeschooling, tons of kids and such. I have 6 brothers, for example, all homeschooled K-12. I have always been extremely good at towing the line between being compliant and being a silent rebel. Always did and said the right thing so as to not be in trouble and have privileges restricted, but always questioning everything and pushing boundaries as far as I could. I went to college, got my AAS, work in healthcare, I moved out by myself, huge upset, and am financially independent, lived on my own for years, and am fully self-sufficient. I have slowly distanced myself from my fundamentalist background. I have lost almost all the friends I had growing up, as we were friends by necessity, not really choice in most cases. We have rather just grown apart, or it is because I left and they stayed. Even leaving my church, I just slowly phased out, giving up responsibilities in college due to being busy and slowly showing up less and less. Again, I'm an excellent quiet rebel. I met my boyfriend right before COVID hit. We get along great. He is calm where I am anxious, absolutely hilarious, and makes me feel like I'm home whenever I'm with him. I can honestly say he is the love of my life. My mom had never liked him. Feels like he doesn't have his priorities straight. He is successful in his career and also fully self-sufficient. Because he likes sports too much, doesn't like his friends, who she has never met. She just picks apart any story I tell her to find an issue with them. They have been super kind and welcoming to me. She just doesn't like him, but is never really able to give me a solid reason. My dad and my brothers, in-laws love him. I told them we were moving in together in a few months. My dad told me he would prefer it if we got married first, but that it was ultimately my choice. My mom lost it, storming out of the house and then storming back in to tell me to get out. So I left and have heard nothing for days. She texted me this morning saying we need to meet so we can talk before I make the biggest mistake of my life. Honestly, I'm so emotionally exhausted. I'm tired, sad, and numb. I fluctuate between trying to not cry and panic to just staring off and shutting down and trying to think of nothing at all. I know I'm too old for this. I know I should be far past these growing pains and that I should just move on and cut her off. But I can't. Who is she going to have if I'm gone? Her life is so hard with my brother having medical issues, and I have always been there to help amongst other things. I'm her support and feel so selfish. I do not